Hey friends, Kevin here, and we're doing a major power upgrade on this minivan. One that is going to give us over 7,000 watt hours of power and potentially over 10,000 watt hours of power. Now, the way to achieve this economically isn't with using power stations, is with using real lithium batteries, LiFePO4 batteries, the newest technology. And because of that, we have to have a solar controller, and because of that, we have to have our own power inverter. But I'm going to show you exactly how to wire these things, do this easily, so you can save some money if you choose to, and have much more power. So this system is basically going to be under the bed. Two of these really large Okmo batteries. We're going to have a solar controller from Renogy to put power into these batteries. And we are going to have a power inverter back here to take the power out of these batteries and convert it to AC power for when I need to run something like a stovetop, like a microwave, or any of the other things that you would be able to plug into in your home. In addition, of course, I'm going to have the 12-volt power for several things, including powering that monster-sized refrigerator freezer. This is not going to really take up any of the space out of my minivan, because all of this is going to be hidden away under the bed frame, under the mattress. So I actually considered building a big custom box for this stuff. Then I realized I don't have to. There's enough weight, enough heft to this stuff, it isn't going anywhere, but I can simply strap it, the whole module that I'm going to have when I'm done, basically with bungee cords, right to the bed frame, just to make sure it doesn't move in case of an accident. And all of the little items, the power inverter, the solar controller, all of that stuff, I can simply use heavy-duty Velcro and Velcro that stuff right to the outside of these battery housings. So it's going to make everything nice and compact. It's going to make it easy to install. It's going to fall right in line with anyone basically doing a no-build build. And it's going to allow me to get to it if I have to do any maintenance really quickly, really easily, and if some part of the system was to fail, I can easily get to it and change it. And this is the mistake I see people make when they do these monster builds, or even worse, when they go out and buy from one of these professional companies and this stuff is already done, is all of these cables, all of these wires, all of these controls and fuses are all buried underneath all of these pretty wood panels, and they don't know how to get to it when something happens. And believe me, if you're on the road long enough, something is going to happen, something is going to break, something is going to tear up, some part of the system that you are going to have to either work on or replace. So you want to be able to do that simply. This allows me to easily do that. Now, if this is your first time doing this, one of the things you're going to find different from automotive batteries is instead of having posts sticking up, you have connectors like this. And the batteries will come with one of these for each one to screw down inside. The problem with these is you don't have very much thread, which means you can't add but one or two items. And you may be doing a system where you need to add 4 items or 5 items or 6 items. So you are going to need something like this, which is an extension post with these nice long threads. So this will go down into the battery, and then this will give you plenty of room to do all of your wire attachments. All of the exact items I am using are linked in the description. First of all, with having more than one battery, we're going to need to connect these together. I'm going to keep this simple, do it parallel. This is what I recommend, especially for these small van systems. So you are keeping your batteries at 12 volt. You are just continuously adding to the battery capacity. And to do that, you're just going to go positive to positive and negative to negative. So now we take the positive and negative wires from the extension cable coming from the solar panel or panels that you have. About 18 inches before the batteries, we are going to cut these. So on the solar controller, we are going to have a positive and negative in, which is what we have coming from the solar panel, and a positive and negative out, which are going to be the cables running from here to our batteries. Hey little buddy, you almost got stepped on. Okay, so we have a plus and minus on each battery. Of course, we are going to connect the positive to positive and negative to negative on these batteries. These come from the power inverter. These come from my solar controller. This is where I'm getting ready for a whole lot of people to tell me I'm wrong in doing this way. But every item I hook to this, power inverter, solar controllers, 12 volt stuff that will have a positive and negative. There are several ways to hook it up, and it doesn't matter, because having these batteries connected, we are just basically going to have one big battery, which is how it is going to be seen for electrical purposes. And when you connect batteries, if one has more power than the other one, it kind of works like water. The power flows back and forth, and it evens out in both of those batteries, or as many batteries as you happen to be using. When we have an item, we can go positive and negative to this battery, or we can go positive and negative to this battery, or we can go positive to this battery and negative to this battery, or we can go positive to this battery, negative to this battery. It doesn't matter. Now, because you are going to be dealing with a lot of wires and a lot of current, as you're working on one set, say your positives, my advice is to take all of your negatives and tape them off. Because as you're moving stuff around, pulling wires around that are connected, you don't want to bump something into something and cause a short. So this keeps everything safe as you are working. And now we end up with something like this. I've done this with part of it already where my connections were, but I'm going to go back and tape much more of this off with heavy-duty electrical tape. Just so if I'm ever doing anything, moving around a wire, I can't accidentally hit something made out of metal. The second thing I'm going to do, because those connectors are so large, those connecting posts on those batteries, I am also going to cover those with heavy-duty electrical tape once I do a final run-through of everything and make sure everything is right. That way, nothing can possibly move around and hit one of those posts and cause anything to short out. So that extra little bit of time you spend for safety to keep from having a problem is going to be well worth it. You want to make sure that everything on your connectors are completely protected so you don't have issues down the road.